Hello, hello, welcome. I am hoping that everything's on, that we're live. Oh, we are. I can see myself going in a little screen. I don't need this in my life. Nobody wants to see themselves in a delay 5 seconds in the screen. Today's video, we're going to be checking out The Mandalorian and Grogu, the trailer. Now, I skimmed through it. I didn't watch start to finish, but what I saw seems to be a lot of recycled footage, which honestly I was surprised at. I thought, they clearly that they would just new stuff or build it up, whatever. So I'm going to give it probably a minute. Oh, you know what? We can jump in right now. I like to usually just stream, have a chat to people, welcome them, but it's kind of hot to trot here. We've got a new trailer that's dropped in Star Wars sphere, which doesn't happen for a Star Wars movie, which doesn't happen in 2025. So without further ado, well, the number one comment is it looks like another episode of the show. We're about to find out. Hopefully the volume's good. Why do you see two binoculars in one? That's crazy. Oh, wow. No, no, no. What did I just watch? Let's break this down together, scene by scene. I apologize wholeheartedly that I didn't like the scrubber was up the whole time. I'm sure that's going to get people up. So first off, we got a shot on the beach, which it's not the starfighter. Remember, Mando had a starfighter, and it was a Naboo one, which made no sense in the show because he had the Razor Crest. I don't. It's been so long, I can't even eyeball the Razor Crest right now. It's clearly, I think it's got different markings, but this is a new ship. It may not be the Mandos. Somebody correct me, I'm sure you will. But that looks like the Razor Crest, not the stupid Starfighter. In the second clip, it looks like Grogu and Mando are doing some reconnaissance with a macro binocular that is a singular one. It looks like a piece to a sniper, like his actual gun, his weapon, which is pretty cool. And I think that this may not be the same. Somebody's using full macro binoculars here, scoping out a stormtrooper outpost by the look of it. I don't know. I don't know if the single ones do it, or the scopes do it per se. Obviously, we've got some type of breaking in a sewer with Grogu and an annoying creature from the show. And all of you that are saying, look, it's the show. It does look like an episode of the show, like a supercut teaser. Like Mandu and Grogu this week break in and do some shit. Sigourney Weaver, everybody loves Sigourney because of Alien, but I know that she's a colonel or she works in the resistance in some high ranking fashion. But is this the level of alien writing? Is it a waste of Sigourney? Well, I don't know, because it looks like that she's got a bowl of chips, which Grogu uses the Force to steal. Some yum yums. And, normally I'm not bothered by this. Oh, it's a comedic moment. She reaches out when people talk about Star Wars fatigue, nobody has Star Wars fatigue with Star Wars. It's these schlocky comedic moments. Grogu's a naughty. He likes yum yums. I'm like, bro, I want to feel something that's good and hope, but like what I see in front of me thus far, and we are 30 seconds in, is it looks like basically a kid. It's the buddy cop thing that the show had, except it's leaning so hard into the kidness. Take your kids. Like my son, my oldest son is 2, September 30, too young to enjoy this. But if he was 4 or 5, this would be like prime time. This has taken the show and turned it into a real Disney-esque-ified show. I do like the Aurebesh, the city streets of what, like Nar Shaddaa, Coruscant, who knows? Let's skim a little bit. See, they go real hard with comedic, and then suddenly, God, I jumped too far. I did like this part. Ready? Take that, diner. Like, that is a cool, like, this is what the Mando, remember in the first season, I think it was the first episode of Mando, when he picked up a bounty and he kicked the shit out of that dude into the door and you thought it sliced him, like bifurcated or bisected him? I thought that was the coolest thing ever. And then it turns out Mando has a heart of gold and doesn't kill. My heart was broken. This swamp creature, by the way, I'm sure everybody knows exactly what this is. I'm feeling like this is a throwback, maybe some EU, but to me, this is just scary as shit. I actually really don't like reptilian stuff, so I'm like, oh, damn, but I feel like I've seen it somewhere. Obviously, we've got obligatory firefights in the sky. But it's just like wasted, like, oh, little cute Grogu's swimming. I swear, this is like 3/4 aimed at kids and mums. Like, don't worry, mum. If you sit through this with the kids in the cinema, you're going to see cutesy stuff. But then, of course, for the fans, the OGs, old Zebby Webb with a vibro staff. What are those Magna Guard staffs? But that's pretty cool to leap off the wall against the scout trooper, it looks like. That's also badass. I don't even know what these creatures are. This is like, I don't know if it's proof that Disney can use real live action puppets, but I don't care. Can I say that? Bro, I don't care. I do like Mando's jetpack, but again, this is some stuff that we've seen in the series on Disney Plus, where it's like, we've seen this before. We've seen Mando in action. We've seen the toys, the tricks, the Beskar armor, the rocket pack, things that were huge reveals in the show, and now just like, oh, he's doing the thing again. Rota the Hutt, I like the, oh, this is weird. Like he's got a, they really worked on the sag. Watch him, watch the arms. There's a jiggle on his delts. Now he's played by the guy that plays in The Bear and, I forget what else, but, okay. This is a Filoni throwback to the original Clone Wars movie where he's a baby and he's grown up, I guess. Again, you got to like strain the brain and go, that was 2008, bro. They're watching a gladiatory brawl. Then Mando versus some techno beasts. Like, I want to say this emphatically. I'm no hater. I liked Andor. If Disney pulled out some dark Star Wars stuff every other week, I would be hot to trot. I would say, hey, Disney has had a rocky past, but look at them go. Even this CGI on the AT-ATs looks really shonky-lonky. Like, this doesn't look real. It doesn't look fun. How do they make the puppets back in, like, the stop motion look better in the 70s and 80s? Am I drinking the haterade? Is this good and I can't see it? Because that looks bad to me. Has anyone else noticed CGI post-pandemic has just gotten lazier, cheaper? I don't know. Yeah, the last scene with the AT-AT. You guys get it. Now is the time for community comments. Welcome Goron, who says for a trailer it's not bad. Welcome Spider Walker. At this point, they should either animate Grogu or he gets eaten by a swamp rat. Agreed. It's a waste of talent. Thank you so much, Spider Walker. I've been watching this stuff since Rebels, and even that, the feeling of hope and excitement that if Rebels did a mid-season, like, took a break and did a movie, you'd be like, this better be direct to Disney Plus, not make me get my ass into the cinema. And this doesn't have the same tone as the show. The show seems more adult, and this, I keep going to him with these hot chips. Like, he wants some nachos. I just don't get it, dude. I do not get it. There are too many throwbacks, and season 1 and half of season 2 are great. I agree. I actually liked Mando. I wanted him to be a little more ruthless, but c'est la vie. It was a pretty bloody good show for a minute. I absolutely drink the Disney haterade. Jedi Council, I hear you, dude. And moves slow. Seth, your eyes are bleeding for a reason. The trailer seems like a collection of standalone episodes. Dude, it does. It feels like a montage. I'll just let it play with that sound. A montage of the cutesy Grogu moments that you all know and love. Grogu help. God, I'm not going to talk like that with a cutesy voice. But like even the other puppets, it just, Grogu's getting help through the sewer. How will he get through? How will he do big boy things? Even though he's, 50? Grogu abuses the Force. Technically shouldn't do that. Master Yoda would be very grumpy if he caught him. But he gets away with it because he's technically a baby. Grogu 100% should have stayed with Luke. That should have been his arc. It should have been Luke's Jedi Academy. They should have followed Grogu, learning there, hooking up with Sebastian Stan, who played Luke Skywalker while he's young enough. And then the Mando goes into his own darker episodes again, like real heavy shit, like becoming, I don't know, someone becomes Mandalore, but it's actually cool. And there's a lot more blood. And Jon Favreau doesn't challenge him every 5 seconds, then give up because he's winded. Yeah, Boba Fett is a missed opportunity. Boba Fett in the EU was absolutely mad. I love the Mandalorian culture, like the real, not this pulpy. It's fun and zany. Like when you think of the Mandalorians, you think of war, warriors at all cost, and just general bad arsery. They just cook. All they care about is strength, but it's an honor. It's different to the Sith per se because they live for a good fight. I can hear Canderous speaking in my head from Knights of the Old Republic. It's just, this is too schlocky. And again, if they put this out on Disney Plus and said it's a kid-centric, like if they created categories and were like, this is a kid-centric film for 5-year-olds. This is a throwaway. It's not actually The Mandalorian. It'll be cool. Now this, again, I could be wrong. This trailer could not be representative of the final product. They could be wanting to get asses into seats and thought their target demo was kids. Get the kids and the parents will come along. Expect the hardcore fans to, like all the dudes, the dads, to want to watch Star Wars anyway. But my real hope is like a meaty, at least Rota the Hutt beat the absolute bejesus out of Mandalorian in that ring, like smash him. I don't want to see any deflecting, absorbed blaster bolts hitting the Beskar. And he's like, oh, do you remember in the book of Boba Fett when Boba and Mando were fighting and they were surrounded in, was it Anchorhead or Mos Espa? Anyway, Mos Espa. And they were getting blasted and he was just absorbing shots because of the armor. And I thought, well, there's the tension is dead, dude. Dead. Do you think Cad Bane will come back from the dead? Absolutely not. Wasted character who's really cool. I'm more excited for the Sam Witwer show, Best Guy Ever. Sorry, the Maul show with Sam Witwer. Maul is probably the better hope. Maul, and the fact that is going to follow George's vision for what the sequels were meant to be, presumably, is pretty badass. Adding Sigourney Weaver makes it feel like a PG-13 Alien film. I think they'll underutilize her. Again, Alien, they can't even get that right. Like, that's such a cool universe. It's so weird to see these sandboxes that are so, you can taste it, how cool this stuff is, and just miss the mark by such. It's like they just put a blindfold on and went, bang. Like in no world is any of this close to what I think the bulk of fans want. Well, I can only speak for myself. I can't. But it seems like people are just like, why? It's almost like this was a Disney Plus movie that Jon Favreau contractually had to do, obligated. But when we speak of all the trilogies, Rian Johnson trilogy, the Rey trilogies, that like the movies that are getting nixed, and the Rogue Squadron, there are so many movies and pieces of media in Star Wars that were promised on stage, then got nixed. I wasn't really a fan of most of them, but what I'm saying is there were projects that, like Rogue Squadron, could have been cool. And they got rid of it for this because they know people will buy Grogu toys. I don't know, dude. Do I think Starfighter will be good? I like Ryan Gosling. The director, his name escapes me, who did Stranger Things, is strong. It's probably it'll be hard. Stranger Things is watchable and fun, the first season at least. I didn't get into the rest of it. And clearly, I am a 39-year-old. I'm technically a middle-aged man. God forbid. No, and I enjoyed it. So I guess I don't know if I am the target demo or not. So what I'm saying is that it's doable, but if they just make it schlocky and for kids in a very, like, the thing about kids media, I should say, child-focused entertainment now versus the 80s when it was dark and they treated you like adults, is it moves about 20 to almost 40% slower for kids to catch up. Like, they treat kids like they're idiots. Whereas I think kids shows used to be, like, look at the original Star Wars. They treat them like they're smart. You know what I mean? Like George has said over and over, he made it for kids. And he didn't pull any punches. Like, I think that's why the 80s was peak for entertainment for all audiences, really, the PG-13 plus whatever. Now it seems like you barely need two brain cells to rub together to be the target audience. It's like that stuff that you binge where it's in the background and you just turn your brain off, which is antithetical to the whole Star Wars fandom, because sorry, I'm going to take these off. Love to be challenged. We love good media. We love things that are rewatchable, that a lot of love has been poured into. Everything George Lucas made, you can watch 500 times. Now, I'm not some soppy person who'll go on some George Lucas spiel and just glaze him. There were glaring problems with some of the prequels, especially episode 2. And pacing issues, whatever, but the love, I feel like there is this almost, it's not soulless, artificial, but it's almost like this intangible quality of hollowness that comes with some of these projects. Like the Mandalorian season 1 was cooking. How it started to slide on this scale, I don't understand. Welcome C1D and Jedi Council. Shadows of the Empire would have been, like, obviously there are a million EU stories that could have absolutely been done justice, but that's something that everybody argues all the time ad nauseum. I don't want to go over and over again about, like, they're doing a poor job compared to what they could, because Andor, even though it wasn't perfect, like, I really enjoyed the tone, and I'm a Star Wars dark guy, so I want to see more dark Star Wars. Andor was good, and it could have been, like, it's close to great, really. And if they put out more of that media, 4 Andors a year, I would be a happy chappy. And I would say, Disney, you've done it. But instead, it's like few and far between. It's almost like they, like, begrudgingly put out a release. They're like, oh, here's another Star Wars. Just like it, will you? And it's slop. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not like some dedicated hater where, like, I've got to hate all the time. If it was good, I'd praise it. So I hope this trailer's not representative of the final product, because my hype level is this trailer looks almost identical to the one I saw before, except with less fight sequences, which again could be. I'm giving them a lot of leeway, saying maybe Disney is just trying to rope the kids in because they've already got the parents. But nah, nah. Is warmth is lacking, and also yeah, there was Titanfall mechs at the end. You've never played KOTOR. Is it worth playing on console? Absolutely. Xbox, PC, my preferred version is PC, but who cares? Get onto it. Okay, C1D, I'm going to read out your comment and take no offense because you've mentioned religion here. Um, if I evaluate what you've said just through the gut, you agree with me? You're going to go off a bit and say Star Wars has become like the Bible. The original was word of mouth and then it got written in ancient Hebrew. Now we have the 13th version. Disney is like their own version. I see what you're saying. That it's somehow like a bastardized version. Like somebody just heard it. I see translated. There's a lot of arguments. I'm hesitant to compare Star Wars to the Bible, but I get what you mean. I get the core message, dude. Hey Jessica, it's great to see you as per usual. Just like the other projects, Jedi Council says bits of it will be good and most of it will be crap. It's the Disney way. The Dedra Krennic scene with the Death Star, for example, is one of the best character interactions I've seen for a long time. I love that. Her acting was brilliant. So was Ben Mendelsohn. Obviously, I'm biased because he's Aussie. I didn't like how he Britished up his accent for Krennic, but my God, they were just cooking. When he got that little finger on her head, I thought, oh, and she ended up in, oh, I don't want to spoil it for you, but a lot of things came full circle in Andor. The writing and, was really there. And it's funny because Tony Gilroy kind of wasn't a Star Wars fan, which is weird that he basically remade Les Miserables. Like if you watch it, it's actually the story of Les Mis in Star Wars. They've even got the French. My whole take is that if Disney wanted to do their own EU, number one, they should redo the EU or, use the best stories. Number two, you can take basically any good story, Star Wars-ify it, like Les Mis, put it into Star Wars, mix in some Imperials, whatever, and it works. Star Wars is a sandbox. George Lucas used to take his favorite media, like walk into the room and be like, I want to see Seven Samurai this episode. And that's what they did for Clone Wars. In fact, I think Bryce Dallas Howard, one of the episodes she directed of Mandalorian, was based on Seven Samurai. I don't know, but he knew. He was like, just take it and remix it in Star Wars. This is a sandbox. And there's so much opportunity missed when it's so good. Like, it's so good. That's why, like, I've been going back to the old media and just absolutely loving it. Absolutely loving it. I tell you what, the more that Disney doesn't kind of keep up to snuff, the more I play the games, I read the books. Like, I go back and I'm having a love affair. I love Star Wars more than I ever did. And it has basically nothing to do with Disney. What's up, difference? Logged into your account. I don't know what that means, Spider Walker. It's a little weird. Oh, in my last video, yeah. Yeah, the last video where I came up with a 10-year plan was just... you're saying a Krennic line. Yeah, I was very proud of that. Shout out to John Hand who edited that video. I'm actually going to do a bunch of videos, I think, to help people now because of the love. Because we're all here because we love Star Wars. And people may defy that and naysay and say, you don't love it, you're a hater, etc. But that's not true. I think the reason why anybody sticks around when you get abused so much is because there is a core love that you don't let go of. So on this channel, I'm looking to make a lot of beginner's guides of like which movies you should watch, if you're new to it, which comics, which games you should play, why they're so good. And then hopefully that means a lot more people who don't have time or the inclination or are just kind of dipping a toe have a lot of media to jump into, but also will then go, wow, this is the standard that we had before, and then they'll want to hold Disney to the higher standard. Cold Shot, I love your sense of humor when you do the rule of three. Thank you, sir. Sometimes I wonder, sometimes I feel like I'm out on a limb without Stupendous there to prop me up. He'd laugh at all my jokes. I love Stoopy. He's such a love. You know, the last thing that Stupendous said to me when we finished our last episode together was, I love you, Dash. He's such a lovely boy. Hey, Sethington, I'm doing really well. Yourself? I don't know. We're in a strange time. Like, I'm still hopeful, and I'm loving Star Wars, but at the same time, a lot of the time you'd feel some really, really deep, intense vibes from the trailer as soon as you watch it. Do you remember The Last Jedi? I remember that was like the last time that John Williams' score, the soaring, that just everything. If you listen to this, and I'm not going to put my headphones in, listen to how this ends and tell me outside of that, like the jingle for the Mando, and I'm sorry that you heard me make that noise. Listen to this. Does this make you feel anything? God, that dude who cries watching trailers better not watch this and cry. I'm gonna be pissed. There is no heart. There's like, you felt the build, and then you were like, oh, they took out some camel walkers. Like, who cares about a weird digital AT-AT? That's scary to me. Usually, like, the big payoff, you know, even if Mando like was getting pummeled by Rota, I don't know why he's fighting a Hutt. Gets pummeled. His helmet comes off, there's blood on his face, and then you think he's about to die, and then the last second you see him use his rocket pack. He uppercuts Rota like with a special rocket punch to the moon, baby. And it's just like a badass moment. Actually, the trailer before really was cooking with some of the fighting, but I don't know how few and far between that could be. You can't hear the trailer audio. You're telling me I've done a whole live stream and nobody could hear the trailer audio? Wait. It shows that the audio is playing. Mios Dio. Hey, Skywalker Stories, how you doing, dude? Oh, that's problematic. That's what that is. That is painful. I apologize sincerely. I really don't like this tech, and it's not an excuse. Like, my job is to be a dancing monkey, to entertain, and that's it. To not have you deal with tech issues. But I think all of you know, whether it's your phone or a computer, that tech issues suck ass. We're in 2025, about to be 2026. AI is about to take over our life, Skynet, and things just don't work. You thought I didn't play it because of copyright? No, I was going to just suck that up and just be like, this isn't going to get monetized, but who knows? Maybe they won't get rid of it. Yeah, but the problem, Spider, if I knew there was no audio, I would have played it and probably spoken over it, because I'm not going to watch this video back. I know there's just going to be me doing heavy breathing, looking at this thing with disdain, being like, I don't like it. Damn. 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 This is what happens when you just go live off the cuff. Now, the good news is Den of Nerds, Star Wars Theory, Nerd Theory. God, my brain. It is literally 2:41 a.m. They're going live in what, 4 hours? Just 4 hours and 20 minutes. So that will be the return of that show, and they'll probably watch it together with sound and react with sound. You know? Anyway, we've done 30 minutes of absolutely tearing apart Mando and Grogu, and I swear, number one, I'm going to figure out the sound issues. Number two, if I love this movie, I'm going to do a glowing review. You're going to see me. I'll be dressed up as Grogu, I tell you that much. Please don't hold me to that. So with that, I think we'll end the stream so I can get some shut-eye and hopefully catch the tail end of Nerd Theory. It's 2:12 here. Dude, you're lucky. Australia time's, yeah, I'm on some wild time. But no, it was lovely to see you all. And if you like the live streams, just let me know in the comments. Honestly, let me know. And I'll do more of them. And I promise tech issues, I half promise tech issues will be lesser. All right. Good night, all. May the force be